Call to order our Guthrie Public Works Authority meeting. Would you please rise and with me say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will you bow with me in prayer? Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the rain. We thank you for the refreshing of our country and our soil. We just thank you for this council, Father, and for their time and their efforts to make this community a great place to live. And we understand that they're just here for, just started their first month. And we just pray by your Spirit that you unite these folks and help them to become a team that is strong and concerned about the community and build this community to be a great place. We just ask your blessing upon them tonight. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Do we have any public comment in the Public Works Authority meeting? We can hear none. We'll move to the consent agenda. Consent agendas A and B. I'll entertain a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, please vote.
All votes are in.
Show the vote. Unanimous approval of the two items on consent agenda. That adjourns our Public Works Authority meeting. Now I call to order our City Council meeting. Consent agenda items A through F.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move to pull the consent item F for separate consideration.
Okay. Consent agenda items A through E.
Does he need a second?
So moved.
I'm sorry. Sorry,
Oh,
let me
for the
rephrase.
Yes.
Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
Second? We need to vote on that?
All those in favor?
All those in favor? Vote.
Yes.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous to move the item F on consent to separate discussion. Back to the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion for items A through E.
So moved.
Second.
Any other discussion on items A through E? Please vote.
All votes are in.
See 'em. Unanimous approval of items A through E. On consent on item F, which is now going to be 2A on our agenda, I open that for discussion of two trustees, voting for two trustees for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group.
I move that we accept, or should I?
No, you're fine. You're
I
fine.
move that we accept Lindsey Gregg and Craig Stevenson as our, as what the Guthrie City
trustees?
Council pick for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group for a 3-year term.
Okay. Any other discussion on that point? All right.
You gotta have a second first.
Yeah, we gotta get a second.
You gotta have a second.
There's a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's a good one. They're good.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion on that? For the two trustees for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group?
They've agreed to do this?
Yes,
Yes.
they
Okay.
have,
All right.
they have.
I'll make sure. Okay.
Yes, they're on the ballot.
No problem.
Okay? Okay, please submit your vote.
All votes are in.
Okay, unanimous approval for those two trustees identified for voting for 3-year terms for the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group. Item 3, discussion of the permit for oil drilling. Do we have any
I'd be happy to give a summary.
you?
Sure. On April 2nd of 2015, the city received an application in accordance to our current ordinances in an effort to drill a well located behind what I would most commonly refer to as mineral wells. The facts, as we have gathered them, is that we anticipate approximately 6 trucks a day that will use the same route that Burgess currently uses, that is back in that area, Burgess, the lumber company. They anticipate about 25 days of on-site construction. The portable rig will be brought in for about 7 to 10 days. They anticipate to use no more than 25,000 gallons of water a day. To put that in a little bit of perspective, the city currently produces around 1.2 million gallons of water per day, and we do anticipate to sell bulk water to them. The water consumption will last approximately 14 days. The rig will be about 90 feet tall, not highly visible from division. This is not a fracking operation within the city limits. There are currently 16 active wells located within the city limits. The city is a 3/16 owner of mineral rights of that property. What we are requesting from council is that they add the requirement of fencing, well testing within 1,000 feet of that site, and we're requesting to abide by the ordinance that would repair damaged roads if that so does occur. Staff does recommend, in accordance to ordinance and upcoming state statutes, that we approve the permit with those restrictions. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I'll entertain a motion then for approval of the permit and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any further discussion?
Ask the public if there's-
I'd like to say, I think once we've figured out some things and had some questions answered, I think this is the way to go now. So I feel that as long as the oil company does what they say they're going to do with the permit, the way it is written in the permit, I feel it'll be fine.
Is there anybody in the public that wants to be heard on this issue? I don't think anybody signed up, but just a second chance. All right, then let's commence to vote.
All votes are in.
Let's show us the vote. All right, unanimous approval of that permit. Item number 4, discussion of a resolution calling for a special election for a increase in sales tax.
If you'll read the agenda item, is that right, Randy?
Yeah, this one we probably ought to read verbatim.
Okay.
Sure, thank you.
Resolution 2015-08, calling and holding of a special election for the city of Guthrie, Logan County, state of Oklahoma, for the purpose of submitting to the registered qualified voters of said city the question of levying of an additional 0.5% sales tax in addition to any and all other sales tax now in force pursuant to ordinance number 3269, said sales tax to be known as the City of Guthrie Capital Improvement Sales Tax Ordinance of 2015.
And Mayor, if I will, I'll kind of give a little bit of a background. In August of 2014, the city called a sales tax election for a 1% sales tax. That did fail by about a 7-point spread. That was for 1 cent. It was for half to go to capital and half to go to employee compensation for fire, police, and all other non-uniform employees. After the failure of that, the Rate and Fee Committee kept meeting again and wanted to bring back something that looked a little bit more like an item that the public could agree to. After that point, we brought an ordinance back to the 63rd62nd City Council, pardon me, and they passed ordinance 2269. Am I lying? 3269, excuse me. 3269, and that was to levy a 0.5 cent sales tax for the purpose of capital projects. A group of citizens had met and advised me to give a list of projects. Those projects, as we know, because the council votes every year on a budget, those can change over time, et cetera. This agenda item was the ordinance has already passed. If the council wants, I there may be some confusion, so I want to make sure. This was to set a date for the election. That's what the resolution was for. So I'd be happy to either have a full discussion about the sales tax. I do have an individual here, the Andrea Welsh, that has served on the Rate and Fee Committee. If she, she's here from the Rate and Fee Committee, if we wanted to talk about the actual ordinance. I don't know if we want to go back to that or if we want to move forward with this agenda item. And this agenda item is to set an election date, not. So make sure there wasn't confusion on what the agenda item was.
Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion to,
I'm gonna,
Move this.
I'm gonna make a motion to table this to workshop and/or retreat. I don't know if we can do both. Hopefully, everybody can get to the retreat. That's the preference. Just for further discussion on the nuts and bolts of the entirety of it. So I make a motion to table to retreat
I'll second that,
or workshop,
Wait,
and workshop.
the next workshop.
okay, so you want, okay, I'm just making
I'd
sure
like
I
to
know.
have both if we could. Like
Okay.
it to be on
the
both.
next workshop would be June
Second.
2nd.
Right.
Retreat is set for June 9th.
Right.
So do you want to do workshop first, or you all want to talk about a retreat and then do a workshop?
Let's do the retreat first and then we can do
Retreat and
workshop.
Makes
Okay, so your motion is to
Table to
table
June
to the
9th.
retreat,
Yeah.
June 9th.
And then place the
Correct.
workshop.
And if necessary, retreat, which would be the following city council meeting.
Workshop for the following city
Or
council.
workshop,
meeting.
I'm sorry.
Correct.
Yeah, with what we showed earlier on the.
I would like to hear what they have to say first before we go off to vote on this. I'd like to hear Andrea come up and tell us a little bit about it.
I am putting Andrea on the spot, so I apologize.
I don't really mean to do that either, but I would
She's-
like for her to come up and kind of tell us what's been going on.
She's really here
Are
for
you-
moral support.
Are you willing to shed some more information, share some more information with us? Yes, please, at the podium.
I will not forget
Oh,
this.
the next one would be.
And state your name, please.
Andrea Welsh, I'm currently on the Rate and Fee Committee.
And maybe talk about, you joined our committee during the last sales tax election and
Just after.
just right after. And I think what the committee discussed, if I go back and look at the minutes and think back a few months and many, many sleepy nights since then, is what we discussed was, there wasn't a sunset on it. We thought 1% was too much for people to stomach. Is that kind of what you heard in the rate and fee
Well, we
committee?
did, just after the election and it not passing, was try to look at the comments that we had received, whether they came through social media or directly, what have you, and see how we could package it in a way that the citizens saw the benefit to themselves, the quality of life issues that we wanted to address. And the clear message was 1% was too much. They disliked the idea of connecting compensation to a sales tax, so we said, okay, that's out, let's look at something else. The other concerns were, what are you going to do? Can we have a list? Can we have specific projects and specific goals, specific timelines? Maps from Oklahoma City was discussed as this seems to have worked. How can we use some of those ideas? Because in the end, what we really want to do is actually accomplish these projects for the citizens of the city. So how can we demonstrate and build that trust and make that happen? And we felt like lowering it to a 0.5%, giving it a timeline, having specific projects that we could go back and say, and also was discussed the idea of having a committee that would be established after passing the sales tax that would then hold the council accountable for doing what they said they were going to do with the election.
Anybody have any other questions?
Well, we're talking about, the ordinance is already passed, but we're just talking about setting a date. I don't know, we've already tabled this once to give you all a chance to catch up, so. I'm just wondering why we're tabling it twice.
It's so we can make sure that this is exactly what we really want to do. I have not, you say we can catch up, we've tried to engage and still have not had a whole lot of luck this fast into the system. So if we can workshop this or put it to the retreat, we're still under the wire for any kind of election that the committee is still looking for. So I feel it's a better idea that we all get up to speed on this, not just the few.
If we go to the retreat and then come to the city council meeting following the retreat, we have potentially moved the ballot date back approximately 1 month. It's my understanding.
If I'm looking at the 2015 calendar, if you voted by June, let me get my dates right, by June 11th, you could have an August 11th meeting. If you wait until the second workshop in June and you vote by July 9th, you can have an election on September 8th. So from May to June to August, or, you're right, 1 month.
1 month.
It'd be July 9th would be your deadline to vote for September 8th election.
All right?
The reason why I don't want to keep pushing this back anymore is we were very successful in what the school's done. I want to use the energy from those people who have already talked to them, and they said they're ready to get out and help us pass our tax, because they said what we do influences them, and what they do influences us. And that's the reason why I don't want to keep pushing this back further and further. We're going to be a year after the other election, and people are going to start going, what's the city council doing? That's the reason why I'd like to see this get done tonight, not worry about it anymore.
Well,
I understand you guys are new and you don't understand everything that's going on, but there's 4 of us up here that's already been through this, and if we keep pushing it back, we're never gonna go anywhere. We're just gonna spin our tires, is all we're gonna do.
I don't necessarily believe that, Jeff, because I think once we're up to speed, we can make rational decisions on the entirety of it. And if we're looking at a fall election, there's no harm, no foul in pushing it to a retreat scenario where we have an opportunity to discuss as you did.
But this is just for a date.
Yeah, we're not doing anything.
Exactly.
We could
So it
Everything-
doesn't hurt. The
everything-
date's not gonna change.
Yeah, it does. It moves it back
Yeah,
another
moves it
month.
back a month.
I just want to say, I've seen the last one, I've seen some discussions on this one. Guthrie's not an easy place to pass things, and I would rather take our time, make sure that these new councilmen are bought into what we're wanting to do, because they know what's in there. They have to sell it, they have to back it with a vote. And I think that a month is not that hard of a thing to swallow, to make sure that the 3 new councilmen are on the same page for this thing. Because they have to, go back to their constituents to defend why they did this. And if their answer is, well, I was rushed into it, that's not a whole lot of buy-in. And I just want to make sure that they have time to discuss it and really talk about dates, talk about what's in the package, everything, so.
Well, and we can also engage one-on-one and discuss, which is yet to happen. So I think that it needs to be around a round table at that point.
We have a motion. I did not hear a second.
Second. I did make a second.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. So we have a motion and a second to table this item to the retreat. And is there any further discussion? Commence the vote.
All votes are in.
Let's see them. By a 4-3 vote, the motion to table has been approved. Discussion and possible action for individual council members' appointments for Citizen Rate and Fee Advisory Committee. This was individuals, each councilman submits the name of an individual for the rate and fee.
Can I clarify something?
Yes, clarification, please.
The resolution says that the council members' appointee will coincide with their term. So when the individuals that are for the first time serving on the 63rd council, or if they were an incumbent and reelected like Cheryl. So in other words, the individuals that would be appointing tonight are Mayor Gentling, Councilmember Ed Wood, Councilmember Bothroyd, and Councilmember Paget. On the Rate and Fee Committee, typically, always, we have not used application process for this. This is more of someone that you believe in your, and it doesn't have to be in your ward. It can be whoever it is that you'd like to appoint to this. I do believe that this committee is critical. It's very important to what we do. What happened 2 years ago, or 2013, what the council basically did was kept the same individuals that were already in place. You're welcome to do that, or you're welcome to appoint somebody new. Currently, April Coffin serves, Bob Davis, for those would be April Coffin, would be Bothroyd, you took Riendo's place, so that would be who sits there now. Change it or leave it. Darrell Burnett, it was appointed by Councilmember Paget. Councilmember Ayers had Ms. Welsh, and Mayor Berger had Tina Hybert. So those four can make nominations, new appointments, and if y'all would do that in one motion,
Can I not do
that'd be
that?
great. The way we read it is that it says it has to be concurrent with your term.
Well, Dan Newton can't do it anymore.
Well, then absolutely, I believe you could.
I talked to
I
him
do.
about it, he can't.
Has he submitted his resignation?
No, he just told, he had a family
Oh, okay.
issue. and so-
We're fine with that. I
Yeah,
think you're
that's
fine.
Okay.
Sure, John.
I can ask him to do that. but
Okay. All right.
So we open up to whoever those, if you want to go down the list and see who.
Jim Case is my. new-
Okay. Jim Case for
And he
Councilman John,
accepted? Yeah.
John Wood. Councilman Ed Wood.
I'm going to
Nominate-
defer to the next meeting. I have not picked somebody out yet.
Okay. Councilman Brian Bothroyd.
Lori White.
Okay. Councilman Cheryl Paget.
Would you continue, Andrea? Thank you.
And I would like to nominate Tina Habert to continue on in her capacity. I've talked to her. I think she's a valuable asset and has agreed to do it.
Good, thank you.
So we have those four.
We also assume everyone's agreed to do it that they've asked.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
They have.
yeah, there's
They're
agreement
just
on
throwing
that.
them under the bus.
Okay, so then I would entertain a motion and a second to, in some cases, reappoint, and other cases, appoint new members to the Citizen Rate and Fee Advisory Committee.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, let's vote.
All those in?
Yep. Unanimous by the people that are here to accept those nominations as submitted. Item 6, discussion and possible action for council appointment of one council member to the Guthrie Transportation Authority. Is there a volunteer on the council that would be willing to take Clarice's place? Clarice was the member on this authority. I have a member of the council that would like to step forward and take on that responsibility.
Okay, we're wiggling our nose. What, am I missing something?
I was on it for 7 years, so I don't think I want to, don't pick me.
Well, if there
When,
is,
when do they meet, Steve?
it's the first, what is it? Second Thursday of each month? Second Thursday. Do you know the time?
Is it an actual member or just a council?
Council representative.
I'll do it.
Thank you very much.
No, he's a
Councilman
full,
Bothroyd.
right? Cody, you're saying it's a full, no, he's a full member.
Is it a voting member?
It's a voting member.
I stand corrected. Stand corrected.
That's what I thought.
All right. So we have a volunteer nomination of Councilman Bothroyd for this position. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other discussion?
It's 1 month, one day
Let's-
a month. right?
Let's vote.
One day a month.
All those in?
Power.
Let's see the vote.
I didn't mean to do that.
We have,
I'm sorry.
We have one. We have one vote that she'd like to take back, but we have 5 votes.
There's 6.
I didn't
She
mean to
was
do
reaching
that, I
down and
promise.
punched the wrong button.
I just
All right.
pressed the wrong button.
I will,
I'm sitting here, I'm having to lean over now.
I will take it as unanimous for all those present to accept Councilman Bothroyd's
What
nomination.
Tuesday, Cody?
Second.
Tuesday,
Okay.
Tuesday.
same as the airport.
Okay, item number 7, mayor's nominations of a planning commission member to the Guthrie Historic Preservation Committee, and I would like to nominate Doug Powell in that role.
I'll second-
May I
I'll
hear,
make the-
may I
I'll
hear a
make
motion and a second?
I'll make the motion and put Doug Powell on her. He's-
I'll second.
Okay, any further discussion? Please vote. Let's see him. Unanimous that Doug Powell then will be the representative on the planning or on the Guthrie Historic Preservation Commission from the Planning Commission. Item number 8, nomination to the Forestry Board. There are 2 existing members their appointment is up. Is that correct?
Yes, and they've reapplied. And then there will be 2 vacancies, but one term ends in June 2016, and one term ends in June 2017. So we would ask that in the motion, you identify which individual goes into which slot.
Okay, all right. I'd like to recommend renewal of the appointments of Roberta Burns and Michael Freese. And I would like to recommend to the council Randy Ellis and Tim Poindexter to fill the 2 existing, 2 other vacancies, and Randy Ellis to be the longer term, the 2016 term,
You mean the 2017?
2017
Thank you.
term. Stand corrected.
Thank you.
I would accept a motion and a second for those appointments.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
And they have approved, they've agreed to do this?
Yes, they have. They've made
Make sure.
application. They all agreed. Okay, submit your vote, please. Let's see them. Okay. Unanimous approval of those recommendations to the Forestry Board. Nomination to the Guthrie Parks Board. My nomination is, Jean Lucina is, her term is expiring. She has expressed interest to continue. I think she has provided some significant involvement and is a valuable asset in that role. And so my nomination would be for Jean Lucina. I'll accept a motion for that.
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Please vote. See him? Unanimous approval of that nomination. City Manager's Report, number 11. 10, I'm sorry, number 10.
You're fine. We want to say a special congrats to the graduating class of 2015 out of Guthrie schools. That was pretty amazing. And probably a special congrats to the upcoming students as they will experience the passing of the recent bond proposal. Congratulations to the school district for being able to do so and the people for getting out and voting. Lazy E Arena is having a Stars Challenge in calf roping May 22nd through the 25th, and we'd love to always support Lazy E as we often see boots and spurs and hats in our downtown shopping as they come to these events. Shrek is also at the Pollard until May 23rd. I was quite frightened the other day at Boomerang when part of the cast was in there. I got a little nervous, but they, most people aren't normally green in town, but they were. So very special congrats. I will also say online, you can find our, we recently, as in today, received our 2014 water quality report. You can take a look at that lengthy document, and it's a report required by DEQ annually, and that report came out sparkling. That's a good word for water, is that right? Sparkling. It came out great. It's on the front page of our website if you'd like to take a look. Thank you very much.
Good. Comments from city council members?
Councilman Guthrie?
Yeah, I would also echo the graduation. I had a daughter that, Caroline, that graduated with honors and will be attending OSU in the fall. And reminding everybody it's Memorial Weekend coming up. And that, I do want to real quickly address the tabling of certain issues is because I'm not up to speed. And when I'm up to speed, whether it be through engagement of council members individually or as a group, you won't see a lot of tabling from me. And so that's all I had to say.
Okay. Councilman John Wood?
I just want to thank the staff for the tour of Guthrie today, so that was a lot of fun. I've toured some of these facilities before, like the water plant and the armory, but I hadn't really been in the Excelsior building and the Blue building that we use for Friends Library and whatnot. So I think that hands-on workshop way of learning about what we're doing is really helpful when we talk about these facilities. So I really appreciate the staff for tagging along and showing us these buildings so we have a better sense of what we should do about them in the future and how they're being used. So I appreciate the staff. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Paget?
Me? Oh,
Yes.
well, I'm glad I wasn't last because I wanted to thank the staff for everything that they do every day, especially when the weather is unpredictable. So thank you all very much. Thank you to the fire chief, the police chief for what they do. Even though we haven't had a major fire yet, we're going to hope we don't. Good
Don't
job.
say yet.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Everybody knock on wood.
Yes.
I'll second
We'll include that in the prayer next time.
Yeah.
Okay. Councilman Taylor?
Just wanted, I'm going to embarrass my daughter tonight. She's now officially a sophomore at Oklahoma State. She made A's, B's, and C's, and so I'm very proud of her. And, you know, how dads are, we have to brag on our kids anyway. But, and also, I think I think most of our high school sports is either done or has been rained out and probably going to get more rain. The lake is filling up, my ponds are filling up, so about another week of this, and it can kind of quit raining for a while. I know the guys need to harvest their wheat, and I need to cut hay. So other than that, I second what Councilman Paget said about the staff. I appreciate getting a tour around the places, and thanks, guys, for what you all do. I really appreciate it.
Councilman Ed Wood?
Thank you. I think I'll make the whole thing unanimous and agree with everybody that thank you again to all the staff and for all the hard work you all do and for keeping us safe, taking us around, showing us what all you have to do and all the hard work you put in doing it. Again, congratulations to the 2015 graduates from Guthrie. I know they're going to do great things. Hopefully they will come back and do great things back home when they get done with their education. Look forward to getting on with the council and getting into retreat, and that we all can come together and, as Brian said, we get up to speed and know what's going on and keep it all making this town a better place.
I'd like to comment on the water treatment facility that we saw today, and especially the three men that operate it 24/7. Pretty amazing thing for what they do for our community. And then the report that we just received talked about the pristineness of the water, and clearly there may be some other issues in the pipes, in the infrastructure of pipes throughout the community, both in homes as well as other places. But we have a superb water treatment facility and really classy people that are professionals that are operating it. So they deserve our thanks for something that we probably take for granted too often. So, anybody else? Randall, do you want to?
No,
Have
no,
a few
I
comments?
quit commenting a long time ago.
Just when it means a lot. Okay. We now have a I'll entertain a motion to convene to executive session to discuss some confidential items concerning,
So moved.
I need to.
Second.
Go ahead and specify, all of these are for discussion with attorney, in executive session. It's Logan County Rural Water 1, Shandorf Hazelwood versus City of Guthrie, City versus Leon Spitz, City versus Larry Ladd, hiring, firing interim city manager, and hiring a new permanent city manager. Those will be the items of discussion.
and does that carry with your motion? Okay. And second?
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, please vote. Unanimous for those in attendance to convene a executive session.